Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. What follows is a series of recorded conversations that occurred over a 3 or 4 week period of time. And archiving the information is simply important because it allows someone who might be listening to that to understand the thought process when it comes to diagnosing problems with mortise locks and whatnot. So I hope that it's of some benefit and we were able to successfully solve the requirement for the client to such a point that it suited their needs and in fact matched their existing hardware. So there you go. Thanks. Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Hi, I can help you with a mortise lock technical question.
Hi, my name is Rich. Oh, cool. Easy to remember. Hey, I installed an old mortise M-series lock into an office, and everything works, but yes, it is. It's a Falcon.
Okay.
And everything works except when I go to lock the lock, it locks, but when I try to open it, it doesn't open because those two little buttons on the inside come out and they don't function properly. I don't know if you...
Yeah, those are called the stopworks.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there could be some defect of the assembled components inside of the lock case that would render the stopworks, but is there a deadbolt involved?
Yes, there is.
Okay. So you have a thumb turn on the inside?
Yes.
Okay. So from the inside, you throw the thumb turn to project the deadbolt. Are you not able to rotate the trim from the inside and exit?
From the inside, yes. But if I lock it from the outside, I can't reopen it from the outside.
What do you mean you can't reopen it?
The deadbolt comes open, but for some reason the knob will not open the door. The knob will not push down.
So you insert the key, you retract the latch bolt. Will a further rotation of the key not retract the latch?
No, it won't.
That's the problem right there.
Yes. And it's a brand new one out of the box. I mean, the box has been sitting in the shop, I guess, for years.
That's 20 years old, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I mean, that really shouldn't matter. Mortise locks last a century and longer, in
yeah,
fact.
Right. Yeah, the things are beef.
Do you have any part numbers on the edge of that box?
I have a part number on the directions here, and it is 002302-001-70.
So I wasn't able to record that as you said it. 0023.
Oh, okay. 02 dash 001 dash 70. And then in brackets, you've got the 7/93. I guess that's the date.
Okay. All right. That is a template. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's yeah, Falcon. Let's look. So we got the installation instructions. That's no problem. But you don't have a part number from the box at all?
Let's see. Yes, I do. from the box. Let's see, I've got a 293371.
You have something that says M and then 3 numbers?
M and 3 numbers. Let's see. Entry log. LM531.
Well, LM is not the old series. That's a new one.
Oh, it is? Okay.
You know what? Hold on. I might be confusing myself. Maybe that's the old one. Let's take a look. So it's a 531 function. That's the important part. So let's pull up and see what a 531, how it behaves.
Okay.
531. MA is the new one. 531. Okay. So a 531 is operated as follows. The latch bolt is operated by the trim from either side, except when the outside is made inoperative by the buttons in the stopworks in the edge of the lock, which is okay. So far, so good. Deadbolt is operated by the key outside or the thumb turn inside. Great. The key on the outside will operate both bolts. So as you insert the key to bring back the deadbolt, you continue to turn it to bring back the latch. There is obviously some breakdown of parts because the stopworks are involved in this functionality. They are moving. There could be a failure there because they're involved. They may or may not be moving, but they're involved.
Okay.
The only thing I can suggest is that, it can't get any worse at this point. So I would take the lock off the door and I would open up the cover and I would study it and try to figure out exactly why it is that it's not working. Now, having said that, do you have the original Falcon cylinder that came out of the box? Are you using that?
Yes.
Because if you're
you're talking about the lock mechanism, or the where the key goes
the thing
in?
you stick the key into. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Because if you've got the wrong cam.
No, it's the one that came with the unit.
Okay.
I have another question about that. Because when I go to screw it in, you can only get it so tight. And how do you get it tight enough so that when you turn the key that cam doesn't turn?
So
you know what I'm saying?
The cam is defined as the piece of hardware that is screwed to the back of the threaded mortise cylinder. That's about 1.25 inches in diameter. There will be 2 very small screws that hold the cam to the back of the cylinder plug. Are you referring to that when you take that mortise cylinder in your hand and you thread it through the door into the tapped holes in the lock body? Are you asking how to prevent that from rotating?
Yes.
Okay. In the edge of the lock
how
body.
How tight are you supposed to get it?
No. You don't. And this could be the problem. I'm glad you said that. So you might have it turned in too far, which means the cam is not going to freely rotate through the lock space, the inner space of the lock body. Now, in the edge, when you imagine the edge of your door, that 8-inch tall lock body, right? Sticking out of it is the deadbolt, the latch bolt, another little trigger, and then the 2 round buttons. Well, above the deadbolt, you're going to see that there should be a couple of screws. Maybe there's 1, maybe there's 2.
There's 2.
Screw. Okay, so you're going to want to tighten the screw. When you get the cylinder where you want it, tighten that screw, and that will seat into the side of the mortise cylinder, preventing it from rotating. You might have that thing under or over. Too far out or too far in. Back it off a couple of 3 revolutions. Try it again.
Okay. I'll bet that's
Does your key, when you rotate it, get stopped at some weird point and you can only go backwards?
Correct.
Yeah, so that's got to be it. So it's really unlikely that the lock body is no good because, seriously, mortise locks last a century.
Yeah, you could tell they're very well made. Now, I've got 2 screws there. Do I use both of those to tighten that once I get it where I need it?
Just the one closest to the cylinder.
The one closest to the cylinder.
Yeah, the one that would be over the cylinder, so to speak.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'll bet that's my problem. I'm going to go try that, and if not, no, I don't know if I'll call you back, but maybe I will. But I think that's going to
if it doesn't resolve the problem, the next thing I'm going to say is pull the lock body out. Open up the case, send me pictures of everything, because where did you get this lock from?
I don't know. I just started this job, and the box was here. The guy before me purchased it.
Okay, so it could have the wrong cam as well, because if the wrong cam is on the back of that cylinder, the lock will not operate correctly. You might throw the deadbolt, or you might retract the latch, but it's unlikely you're going to do both. So, and plus you got to make that key perfectly vertical, and the cuts of the key have to be pointed towards the top of the door. The flat root side of the key blank has to be towards the bottom of the cylinder. The name Falcon needs to be so you can read it horizontal, just like you normally would.
Right, just like you normally would. Okay. All right, I will look at that, Rich, and hopefully I don't have to call you back.
And if you do, I look forward to it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video.
I just spoke to you about the lock that's not functioning.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, I pulled it out of the door, and I'm trying it here on the bench, and it's still not letting me open the outside when I open the deadbolt. Those plungers on the inside will not reset.
Well, they're not going to. So when you are on, someone leaves.
Yes.
Person with the key leaves. Someone on the inside throws the deadbolt. Okay. When that person who leaves comes back, so when you throw the deadbolt, the stop works are going to render the outside locked. When you come in, when you want to come back with the key, only the key is going to gain you access to getting the latch pulled back. You will never render the outside trim operable by re-entry.
What? I'm not following you.
Okay.
I mean, if I leave the office, say I leave the office, I lock it with the deadbolt key from the outside.
Yes.
Right? Okay, now I want to get back in. I open it with the deadbolt. The deadbolt opens, but it still won't allow me to push the handle down because those little plungers aren't resetting.
Because they don't reset. Standard function, those do not reset to an unlocked position when you retract the deadbolt.
So how do you get into the the office?
When you insert the key, you turn it to retract the bolt, and then you continue turning the key to retract the latch.
Yeah, well, I've been trying that, and it won't go.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the lock case could be broken. But that's the operation. The only way to make the outside trim unlocked is to have the door open, and then you push the buttons and the stop works.
Okay, so it is stopping as I open the deadbolt, then the little 3 tabs, whatever those are, those angled tabs pull back, and the key should continue to turn, correct?
Yeah, the key is how you would retract the latch bolt, which are those 3 pieces of triangular-shaped pieces of metal.
Right, and those go back, they retract, but those little plungers, those buttons don't reset or allow me to open.
Because they don't. You cannot do that by the key. The only way to reset those plungers is to depress them with your fingers on the side after the door is opened. Yeah,
but you can't open the door is the problem.
Yeah, well, like I said, there could be a problem with the lock body because the way to retract that latch is by the key.
Okay. All right, I'm going to see if I have a different body. That's a shame because it looks like a brand new body.
Yeah, you could all if it's not crucial, package it all up and ship it to me. I'd be happy to play with it.
Okay. Let me have your address.
Sure. So it's from my website. It's just the contact us from our website. It's so my physical address is 3435
3435
Enterprise Avenue.
Enterprise
Just like Star Trek.
Avenue. Okay.
Number 1.
Number 1.
And it's Naples, Florida.
Naples. How's your weather?
Well, it's paradise here, but with Sally coming through, not coming through. Sally was way off in the Gulf. We got about 36 hours of straight rain, but it was just rain. It was like, run to your car rain. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. And that zip code is 34104.
34104. Okay. All right, Rich. I'm going to continue to play with this and try maybe a different one. See if I can get it to work. If this one doesn't work, I will send it to you and see if you can't get it to work.
Look forward to it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Mine, for some reason, the doors are locking themselves and they can't open them. And I don't know if that's a typical problem or if that's just something a result of these things being so old.
Yeah, Falcon locks, and they're being locked and they're staying locked. What type of function are they?
It's a deadbolt.
Well, they're supposed to stay locked.
No. When you slam the door, for some reason, the knob will not open the door from the outside. And it's not that the deadbolt is being activated. I think there's something within the locking device that's not allowing it to open.
So you close the door, and what's locked at that point? The deadbolt's not. What is locked?
The knob or the handle will not open the door. It will not go up and down. It stays in a lock position.
Okay, so
I know it seems odd.
But no, I'm catching up. So let's forget about the deadbolt. You've got some sort of a lock on the bottom. What function is that lock? It's obviously got a key on one side, I'd imagine. What's on the inside?
On the inside is just a deadbolt lock. A deadbolt handle, I guess, or a knob. That's what it is, and just another handle.
Okay, so the term deadbolt only applies to something that you would have installed above this lock that we're talking about?
That's correct.
Okay, so we're not talking about the deadbolt at all. So you've got a handle. When you say handle, would it be called a knob or a lever?
It's a lever handle.
Oh, it's a lever. Okay. So on the outside lever, you've got a key. Is that correct?
No, it's not in the lever. There's actually a key above it, which operates the deadbolt.
So is this an interconnected lock? Is there a large discussion plate on the inside?
I'm not sure what that is.
On the inside of the door, is there about a 10-inch tall rectangular plate?
No. I can give you the model. I think this is the model number of it. It is, and I don't know which number it is, but it's a 613 ANSI 4-78 21316 RH.
I mean, some of those numbers make sense. I know what they are.
Okay. How about this 293371?
Where is that? These numbers coming from?
It's on a Falcon box. It says IR security and safety, and then it's a Falcon, and then it says entry office lock LM531.
Thank you. That's the money right there.
That's the one.
LM531. So
okay.
we've got a mortise lock is what you've got. So when you pull the door closed, it's locked on the outside. So you've got an LM531, and that function okay. LM531. Let's look.
And what is your name?
Oh, my name is Richard.
Okay, I spoke to you a few weeks ago. I was having issue with the lock, and you talked me through it, and I got it fixed. Was it the lock, or no? It was.
Yeah, so your lock, I'm going to guess, could be at least 20 years old. It could be 30.
23
yeah, okay.
years old.
All right, so you do indeed have a discontinued series of lock, and that is less than awesome because the new stuff doesn't fit into the old preparations, but all is not lost.
Okay.
So a 531, the latch bolt is going to be operated by the trim on either side, except when the outside is made locked by the stop works in the edge. There are a couple of little toggle buttons in the edge of the lock. Have you experimented with the setting on those?
No, I have not.
So there are two little toggle buttons there. I don't know if it's a toggle or if it's two independent buttons. They appear to be round little buttons that are connected. Open up that door and change the state of those buttons that'll be at the bottom of the mortise case. Well, they should be, they may be, and then see if the outside is unlocked. And it will, in fact, stay that way until you either throw the deadbolt on the inside or lock it with the key on the outside. That will set it into a permanent passage mode.
Okay, so those buttons, are they, if I'm looking at the edge of the door, I'd be looking into where the deadbolt comes in and out?
Below that, but yes, sir, that's where you're going to look.
That's where okay, below that. Okay, so I need to adjust those. Okay, so what are my options? I can no longer get parts for those locks, is that right?
That is correct. Well, I mean, I might have some stuff laying around. Not to say that there aren't parts available, but en masse, if you're moving forward with converting, you'll be converting to a different lock.
Okay, well, but then you have nothing that would fit that door. I would have to replace the whole door.
Not necessarily. The function holes, and I do have some old stock of LM531s. I can see that I do. So you'd be able to get mortise lock bodies, and if I was you, I'd probably scoop up, whatever was available so you had parts. Because at a certain point, you'll need a time machine to find any of them. Because the function holes aren't in the right location, you would probably have to convert to locks that have rectangular plates so that you could create the additional new holes, have those plates cover up all of the prep, and then you'll be back in business.
Okay. So what am I looking at as far as cost for those units?
Well, yeah, you're buying mortise locks. They might be an odd color or an odd trim, but...
well, I thought you said you had some old stuff in stock still.
I do. What I'm saying is, you'd be buying mortise locks. They're, they might be an odd color or an odd design. You don't necessarily care about that. So the LMs that I have, and I think I've got maybe about 4 of them on the shelf, they are $357.20 per lock, so $358 roughly.
20, okay. And you have no parts for those?
Well, no. The only thing I have right now are complete locks.
Okay, so I would have to take the parts off of that to make mine work.
Probably what you would do is just use the entire mortise block body. You wouldn't
sub-assemble it. You would just swap.
Okay. Okay. What about the actual key lock itself? You don't have those?
The cylinders are easy. That's no problem. That design has not changed. Cylinders are no problem at all.
Okay, so you have those in stock?
Sure, of course.
Cylinders. Okay, and how much are those?
Depending on the keyway, you could be anywhere from, if it's an original Falcon, you're probably about $50. I'd have to know the keyway, though, because Falcon has a standard keyway. Who knows what you have? You could have anything.
Keyway. Okay, so how do I identify the keyway?
Well, we could start by sending me a photograph of both sides of the key, and I can take a look at it from there.
Okay. All right, Rich. So what is your email address?
It's the word sales, S-A-L-E-S.
Okay.
Now it's same as the website, A as in architectural, B as in builders, supply, S-U-P-P-L-Y, .net.
.net. Okay, Rich. I will go take pictures of that, and I'll probably get you at least a credit card number so I can get a couple of those locks coming my way. And once we identify the cylinders, maybe we can get a couple of those as well.
Right on.
Okay, Rich, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Did you get them?
I know that an email hit.
Okay.
I do them first in, first out. So bear with me. I'm very close to it. Bear with me. Let's do this. Let's do that. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, you were the very next email. Okay. Yeah. Huh.
Oh yeah. That didn't sound good.
Well, it could be that you're missing components there. So, okay, bear with me.
Good. How you doing?
Okay, so now regarding the keyway, I can't tell what keyway that is. Do you have one of those keys in your possession now?
Oh boy, I sure don't.
So what we're looking for is a letter, a capital letter that might be stamped on the key, especially if it's an original key. Otherwise, I'd like to see a photograph of both sides of the key. Falcon has more than one keyway, and that does not look like their standard G keyway.
Oh, it doesn't, huh?
So a couple of things. I'm going to pull up my book, and I'm going to see, because there is a word at the top left of the keyway that looks unusual. Okay, Falcon. Yeah. Okay. So that's going to have.
Rich, would you mind holding on for 1 second? Let me go ask somebody. I think they might have a key for this, and
Please
I can. Do. Okay, hang on 1 second.
Yeah, that's right. Looking down on the cylinder. So I'm going to think that it could be. It could be want to use them all section blank. That's got to be. Looks rather low. Okay, so a 1054. That could be a FA3, which a Caba Ilco FA3, which does not come up in the Caba Ilco book. Caba Ilco. So what I'm doing is I'm looking online to see if I can determine what keyway that is. FA3.
Okay, Rich, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was not able to find an original key. I do have an old key of that fits that type of lock, and it is an ILCO, and then it's got an A1054WD FA3 on it.
Bingo. Bingo. As you were away, I was trying to determine if that was an FA3. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I know what that is. And so the cylinder won't be a problem. Okay. Now, I replied to your email with a marked up photograph. There is, in the lower portion of the edge of your door, if you were to stick your finger in that rectangular area that has the radius end at the top immediately below the latch, and you're missing parts is the bottom line. If that
inside there, internally, I'm missing parts.
Well, you're missing you are missing parts from that picture. If you look below the latch bolt, the three triangular pieces, there should be another triangular piece there. And
okay,
then,
hold on a second. I'm opening it up. I have closed it down looking for your email. Let's see. Come on, open up. Oh, it was there. There it is. Okay, I've got it open. So looking at what now?
So looking at the edge of the door with those three triangular pieces, the latch bolt right below the deadbolt.
Yes.
Below that, it's clearly missing another triangular piece, and then below that, the rectangular shaped that has the radius end.
Yes.
When you stick your finger in there, are you able to move that one head of the piece of metal out or in at all?
I haven't tried that.
Yeah. So some you've got missing parts. So somehow those parts went missing. And did this lock ever work from day one where it would stay as a passage?
I couldn't tell you that. I started this job about 3 or 4 months ago, and everybody that's had any experience with these locks has said they've never locked it. So I would say they have never locked these. They haven't had keys.
But now it's becoming locked?
It's from the deadbolt side only. And then, like I said, it becomes locked sometimes when they just close the door. Nobody's inside, and it won't open. The outside knob will not. From the outside,
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
The knob will not turn.
Yeah, so I would investigate that to see if parts have been manipulated. If someone has gotten in there and horsed around and pulled parts out of the lock,
Mm-hmm.
you might be able to handle that. Where is the missing cover piece from the edge? So there's a rectangular pice of metal that's 8-inch tall.
I took that off so I can get a picture of it is all.
I understand. Very good. Okay. So I would determine if you can manipulate that so that it will stay passage mode, I suppose. And if you can't, it's, if you want to turn it into a passage, is that what you want? You want it to always stay unlocked?
Correct.
Okay. If you were to get extremely curious and take that lock off the door, you could remove parts or you could remove and modify parts so that it never locks again. It will become a passage permanently. But you'd have to have some level of comfort to say, yeah, I'm gonna remove the lock from the door. I'm gonna remove the 3 or 4 screws that hold the case on. I'm gonna get into the inner workings. I'm gonna discover how this heart beats, and then I'm gonna pervert the lock component so that it can never lock again.
Okay. I don't know if that's something I'd want to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, because it's a bathroom door which is exposed. If somebody was to come by at night, they could get in. And I think that's probably against the law that we have those open like that at night. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I would think that would be a problem.
Yeah. So, you say you've got some in stock.
Yeah, I do. I've got about 4 of them.
You've got about 4 of them now. Does it matter which side? It's got to be right hand, left hand.
Well, those locks are going to be reversible, and I think the way that we would pull them off the shelf is that I've got 2 that are left hand and 2 that are right hand, and they're different lever designs. They might be polished brass, whatever. I know they weren't satin chrome or oil rubbed like you have, but it's really the lock body that you want.
Right. So looking at the picture that I've sent you, the door knob or handle on the right side of the picture is on the outside, and the left side, you can see where the deadbolt is, that you can latch the deadbolts. So does that make that a left hand or right hand?
Most definitely a right hand.
That's right hand. So it's from the inside when you're speaking of the door?
No, it's from the secure side.
Well, that would be the inside.
No, the inside would be the secured side. The secure side would be the side where the key is.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
so what makes it a right hand since that's on the left side?
So we always define the handing of the door based on the secure side. So you'd be standing outside. So then the question is, what side are the hinges on? Okay, well, they're on the right.
Yes.
So it's a right hand.
Okay, so if the hinges are on the right, it's a right hand.
If it's an in-swing, yes. If that door were to swing outside, same thing you have, but now the hinges are on the right and it comes out, we're going to change what we call it. It's going to be called a right-hand reverse.
Oh, okay. So
it's
this
silly
is
how
just
ridiculous
right
it is,
hand.
but what you got is a plain old right hand. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So that's what I've got. So let's see. Can I go ahead and get one of those for right now, just for starters, a right hand?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. I wonder if I should get 2 of those. Damn it. You have 2 right hands, you say, right?
Let me take a look and see.
Okay.
That's a LM531 Falcon. Okay, I have 2 rights and 2 lefts, even though they're reversible. They're different lever designs. They have escutcheon trim. They're going to come with cylinders. I don't know if they'll be the right, but yeah, I do. I've got 4 is the answer. I've got 2 of each hand, but they're reversible in the field.
Okay. Let me get. And they come with the key in the deadbolt?
They do, yeah. They come with a cylinder. I don't know if it's the right keyway because I don't know what keyway I have. Does it? Oh, you know what? I am way off the market. I have a lot more than 4 of these in stock.
Oh, you do?
I have a lot more. For right now, I've got a whole lot more than I thought I had.
Oh, great.
That's strange.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a couple dozen.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So let me go ahead and get one of the rights for right now.
Yes, sir.
And as far as the panic bar, do you have that same vintage panic bar?
That could be pretty tough because those devices, the Monarch 18 and 17, they were discontinued at about the same time that these LMs were discontinued. And having any of those on the shelf is going to be extremely unlikely. Again, I'd have to see what you're working with.
Okay. So did they build something that would fit one for one, or?
So it's not as awful as the locks. There are new panic devices. You will have to make new holes, but for sure the hardware is going to cover those holes.
Okay. All right. Well, let me get one of those lock. What do you call it? The lock device, or
one of these mortise locks.
Mortise lock. It's just called a mortise lock.
Mortise lock, yes, sir.
Mortise lock. Okay. Let me get one of those, and I will install it and let my manager see and see if he's willing to go ahead and spend the money for the rest of them. And if you could send me any info you have on those panic bars, that'd be great.
I would have it on the catalog, but I'd have to see what you've got to know if I've got any.
Okay, I'll take a picture of one and then shoot it off to you.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want to,
yeah, I'll enter the order.
That lock from you, that LM,
Yeah, the Falcon lock.
Yeah. And everything went fine. I installed it, and everything was perfect. And now all of a sudden, it's locked itself from the inside, and I can't get it open.
Well, you've probably got you've got to watch the hand of the door. So, that lock could be. The lock is so on the other side of the door. Is the lever always unlocked?
The lever is always unlocked. Yes.
Okay. So if you want that reversed, then you have to reverse the handing of the mortise case.
I don't know what that means.
Inside the box, there will be instructions on how to rehand the mortise case, so you can change what lever is locked and unlocked when you lock and unlock the body.
Okay, let me get the instructions. And would it be, let's see, on the rehanding instructions, is that what that is?
I would think so. I don't have those instructions from that old lock in front of me, but it will certainly be that.
So now on the end of that lock too, on where the deadbolt comes in and out, it's got the two buttons on the bottom there. What are those for?
Yeah, those are the stop works. That's what we talked about initially. That's what allows you to set the lock into passage mode, or to set it back into the, locked on one side and unlocked on the other side.
Okay, so what do I need to do to get into that room? I can't jimmy the lock. I can't open the door. Is there anything you can suggest?
Is the lock completely installed?
Yes.
Can you stick a coat hanger or a something underneath the door, reach it up and pull the lever down?
Oh man, so that's probably the only way to do it, huh?
The only way what you could is so are you on the side of the door that does not have the key installed?
No, I'm on the side of the door that has the key installed.
Well,
I'm on the outside.
Put the key in and turn it all the way until you retract the latch and push the door open.
I did that and it doesn't open.
Oh, well, there's got to be a problem with the installation, because the key will not only retract the deadbolt, but always retracts the latch.
I mean, it worked. I tried it about 3 or 4 times, and it worked fine, and then now, boom, didn't work. So you think it's in the installation, huh?
Well, it most certainly is. There's nothing wrong with the hardware. The fifth time that you did it, when it didn't work, did you throw the deadbolt?
No. They just they opened it. They opened it from the inside with the deadbolt. They walked out, and then they tried to go back in, and that's when it locked itself.
Yeah. So the key via the cylinder is the only thing that's going to retract that latch.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I can operate the key, and it operates fine. It closes the deadbolt, and it opens the deadbolt. Everything works fine, but it will not allow me to open the door.
Yeah, you've got to turn the key so that you can retract the latch. The lever will stay rigid. Once you retract the latch, you'll just push the door open.
All right, I'm going to give that a shot. Yeah, I don't think I did anything wrong on the installation.
Well, it doesn't sound like you have. So you're on the exterior. That lever is rigid. The door is locked,
correct,
and you've got the cylinder. Okay, so it's operating normally, and it doesn't sound like you need to rehand anything, because when you lock the door and you throw the deadbolt, it's gonna take the exterior, and it is going to set the stopworks, the buttons in the edge, so that the outside lever is locked. It's rigid. It can't be rotated. So you've got the door all locked up tight. The only way that you get in is put that key in and turn it until it retracts the latch, and then you push the door open. The key will not set the lever to active. The lever will always be rigid unless you push the button in the edge of the lock.
Yeah, I didn't push it. I don't know if somebody else did or what.
Well, when you throw the deadbolt, it automatically throws that button in the edge of the door.
That's what I thought, but
yeah,
that's not happening.
Sure it is. We know that it is because your lever is rigid. We know the stopworks has been thrown.
Okay.
So
now I open. So now when I go to open it, it stays rigid.
Yes, that's exactly correct. Until you push the stopworks in the edge, the button in the edge, it will set it to a passage mode.
Okay, I'm not sure I understand what you're telling me.
Well, let's go through it again. Let's go through it. So, so that lock can be a passage set where you set it into both levers always active when you push one of the two buttons in the edge of the lock, the stopworks.
Okay, you don't know which one though.
Oh, I'd have to look at the lock body. It's the top or the bottom. It's probably my guess would be the top. Doesn't matter which it is. It's whatever the opposite position is. If it's locked, it's the opposite position because they're toggle bolts.
Okay.
So here's what happens. So you've got it set in passage mode with the button in the edge. The two buttons, you push one of them. Both levers are always active until you go in and you turn the thumb turn and throw the bolt. That locks it automatically. That will make the outside lever rigid. That will change the state or the position of the buttons in the edge. The only way, so when you're in the room and you've thrown the thumb turn and you've locked it, you can get out at any time by rotating the lever and exiting. However, when you do that and you pull the door closed, it is still locked. The outside lever is rigid. It will always stay rigid.
Okay.
The only way to get in is with the key. You insert it. You will retract if the deadbolt has been thrown, which when you're in the room, you throw the thumb turn, you throw the bolt, you're in the room and you're secured. The only people that can
Right.
get in now must have a key. When you exit, you rotate the lever. It retracts the latch bolt, retracts the deadbolt. You pull the door
Correct.
open. You exit, but when you pull the door open at that moment, when you pull the door closed behind you, the deadbolt is not thrown, but the stopworks buttons in the edge have been changed. So now that outside lever is still rigid, which means you cannot get in by the lever. The lock is latched but not bolted. The exterior lever is rigid. So the only way that you get in at that point is with a key in the cylinder. You rotate it to retract the latch. You then push the door open. When you go in, you do your business, and you exit again, you're still going to be locked out. The outside lever the outside lever, whether it's rigid or operates, is controlled only by the button in the edge of the lock. That's the only way. Every time you lock that lock, you are automatically relocking the outside lever every single time.
Right. Okay. Now, when you leave, you open the deadbolt, you close the door. Now the outside should open, right?
No, the outside lever will stay rigid, because when you leave, you either move the thumb turn, which you don't need to do, or you rotate the lever, and it will retract both latches. You exit, but that lock remains in the locked condition. The outside lever is rigid. When you close the door, it's latched. The only thing that it's not is deadbolted. If you wanted to deadbolt it, you would put the key in and then throw the deadbolt.
So you don't have to. The outside rigid handle is not working. It's rigid. So you just have to push the door open?
When you insert the key and retract the latch bolt. The only way to get in is with the key at this point.
Okay. Well, I want to be able to get in at all times, except when somebody's inside.
Well, then the issue with that is when someone's inside and they've got it locked, when they exit again, that lock is going to be automatically relocked every single time.
Yes, I don't want that. I want to be able to get in from the outside. I don't want to go to the key every time we want to get in.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's not a 531 function.
What do you mean?
The 531 function, which is where this conversation started, will not operate like that. The 531 has the stopworks buttons in the edge.
Oh, shit. So I got the wrong...
It won't operate the way you want. You could, I would imagine that lock could be, I'm quite sure that lock could be perverted on the inside lock case so that when you push the stopworks, nothing happens. Actually, I know that it can be, but that's not something you're not going to be in there yanking parts or modifying parts on the lock body.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you could. A 540, other functions would operate that way where you have a deadbolt only and the key will operate the deadbolt or retract the latch, but the trim always stays unlocked. So,
yes, that's what I want. That's what I need.
Yeah, I hear you. So the issue with that is going to be just the fact that it won't be available.
So you don't have those?
This is the lock that they discontinued 20 years ago. I don't think or 15 anyway. I don't think anyone would have them. That 531 function that we have is because it's the absolute most common. It's not absolute. It is a very common function.
So, is there anything that supersedes that lock that I can buy that will fit and operate the way I want it to?
The issue with that from our prior conversation was Falcon does have a new lock for that lock, but the function holes are not in the same location.
Yeah, jeez.
Do you have First, we want to make sure that you can get in with that key. If you can't, then there's something wrong with the installation, because you can absolutely enter with a key. What you could do is ship the lock case to me, and I will make those internal modifications to it. I will change the parts, or there's a piece that I know I'm going to have to modify in order so that whatever you throw the deadbolt, it will make the stopworks move, but it won't engage the outside trim. It will always be functional. So if someone's on the inside and they've thrown the deadbolt, you can walk up to the door and rotate the lever, but the door won't open because it's bolted.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so that's something that you could do.
Yeah, yeah. You could send me that lock. At least send me the lock body, and I can modify that.
Okay. So, God darn it, I'm going to have to put that old body back in, which is not functioning properly either. So if I bought another one from you, you could pull that part out before you ship it to me?
Yeah, I could get that transferred over to me first, and then I could do the modification and send it to you. Then you could send me back the one you've got now if you can live with the inconvenience of the key in this period. And then then you'll have two that operate that way.
Okay. But you don't have them at your location?
No, I've got them on my West Coast location. Is where those are.
Darn it. All right. I need to think about this. I don't know. I'm going to have to go ahead and put that old lock back in. I'll send you the one that I purchased from you, just the body, and then we'll go from there.
Excellent. No problem. I'll send you an email so that you've got my address right at the top of your email.
Okay, Richard. Thank you very much. I appreciate your help.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Mortise Lock project, the Mortise Lock project, I just wanted to bring it to conclusion. So right after I got your email yesterday, where I replied I didn't get it, then my daughter said, "Hey,
you got it."
Yeah, mailman came. So I got both of the lock cases opened. I figured out what needed to be done. I took the hub that locks the outside trim when the deadbolt is thrown, and I modified the back of the stopwork for that. So I ground that off. So when you toggle the buttons, they don't do anything anymore. Then I had to modify a retracting plate inside of it so that when you would rotate, when I changed the stopworks to lock the outside, what then happened is every time that you would rotate the lever, it would always let you in, because what was preventing that from happening, I hobbled. I then modified a retracting plate inside so that it wasn't linked to pulling the deadbolt and latch back simultaneously. So at this point, it's exactly as you wanted, I believe, because the levers are always active. The levers are always active when it's unlocked. When you throw that deadbolt, that deadbolt, you can't
open it from the outside.
You cannot open it from the outside. That's to be sure.
Okay, good.
And when you are on the inside, are these closets?
No, they're public bathrooms.
Okay, so what's going to happen now, though, is when someone goes in and throws that deadbolt, they're going to need to retract the deadbolt in order to exit, because that lever will be rigid on the outside. Pardon me, that lever will be rigid on the inside. So they've got to throw the deadbolt back to then exit.
Oh, geez, really? Okay, well, that's just the way it's got to be. That's the way it is in the clubhouse. So out at the pro shop, then it's going to be the same way to throw the lever.
Yeah, you've got to pull the deadbolt back in order to get out.
Okay.
And so what? When you so they're just bathrooms. So the only time that the outside is locked is when either someone is inside the bathroom and they've thrown the deadbolt, or someone has thrown the key from the outside.
The key. That's exactly what we need.
Every other time, that thing is always active. So the one downside is someone is going to need to, when they want to exit, they've got to pull the deadbolt back, and then they can exit. They can rotate the lever and exit. So, you know, it's not ideal. I'd like emergency egress from the inside. The issue, though, is these locks were discontinued so many years ago. The other functions are not. It's just the parts just aren't available.
Yeah, I understand that. So we're going to have to make it work that way. That's the way our bathrooms like I say, in the clubhouse work. So they're just going to be exactly the same.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
you still have to throw the deadbolt.
Yeah. So the upside is you have uniform behavior happening there. So that's
Correct.
the upside, I suppose. Well, I've got two lock bodies. I've got one complete lock converted. I've got your lock body converted, and then I've got that dogging mechanism all in one box. And we'll have a tracking number sent to you today.
Okay. Would it be possible for you to send that maybe next day? You know, I know it's going to cost more, but I need to get this done before Thanksgiving.
I sure can. The issue, though, is it's literally crossing the country. Do you want me to send you the rate first? Because that's that's going to be way expensive, isn't it? I would be shocked if it was less than $200.
Yeah, okay. No, let's just go regular then.
All right, well, we'll get it on the road today then.
Okay, well, I really appreciate all your time and effort into this, Rich. It's making my life a lot easier once I finally get these parts.
Yeah.
And that other part is going to be with them, right? The $35
yeah, the dogging mechanism will be inside the lock body, inside the lock box. So get down the road a piece on that. Call me, and we'll tackle that problem next.
Sounds great.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, appreciate all your effort.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. A locking mechanism where you put the key in the tumbler.
Yes.
What is the best way to tighten that and then secure it so it doesn't spin?
Okay. So you've got those two mortise locks. The stop works, the buttons in the edge don't do anything now. So when you get it installed, you're going to take the mortise cylinder and you're going to carefully thread it into the mortise case once the mortise case is in the door.
Right.
When you study the edge, the 8-inch tall edge of the mortise case, there's going to be a small set screw that you'll need to tighten once the cylinder is exactly in the correct location.
Okay, so if I'm looking at the end of it, just above the deadbolt, is that where the screw is?
Above, and it'll be like a little to the side, and you should actually see one on each side, because you could thread something in from both sides.
Okay, yeah, there's two with Allen heads, or Phillips heads, excuse me.
Too small with a Phillips head is what it most likely is.
Okay, all right, so then I would just tighten one of those down to the desired location once it's in tight.
Once your cylinder is in, the teeth are vertical, and it's perfectly vertical to the right depth. Then yes, you would then tighten the set screw and it'll hold the cylinder in place.
Okay, perfect. That's all I needed to know, sir.
Thank you for calling.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.